you are new around here, then hi, nice to meet you. And if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. That is your word of warning that I do like a little bit of profanity on this channel. I am from Scotland and we do like it just rolling off the tongue every now and again. Can't help it, I'm sorry. My name is Alana and I'm a 30-something lady who likes to talk about hair, makeup, skincare. You know, all that basic bitch lifestyle stuff, but with an extra adding sprinkling of sarcasm. This video is going to be a get ready with me. It is my kind of first impressions of the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I know this palette has been out for a long time, so it's nothing new. If you've watched all the other videos before, you might be like, do you know what, fuck this, see you later. But this is the look I've created with it, so you can get some fucking idea what actually I'm going to talk about. Okay, so that's the look I've created today. I do have new lipstick on, I do have kind of new stuff going on in the cheeks as well. And just for a wee bit fucking added bonus, I decided that I would show you how I do my hair. If you're not into that, that's alright. We'll put a timestamp somewhere and you can find out how to skip to the makeup. That's quite alright. But I do get asked about my hair quite a bit, the colour of it and how I style it, especially over on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's down there somewhere. Feel free to follow. It's up to you. But a lot of people will message you be like, look, your hair's lovely, I really like it. Now my hair is not lovely. Like my natural hair is flat, plapped to my head, doesn't move, super duper straight, shite basically, let's face it, it's not good. I put a lot of work into this hair, but it only takes me about 15 minutes in the morning to give a little wave. So I've thrown that in at the start of the video, but I completely understand if you're like, I came here for the Natasha bitch, nothing about your hair, fuck off, who do you think you are, hairdresser? Absolutely not. So that is at the start as well, if you want to see how I do my hair, style my hair, blah blah blah. And then I will go on to do this get ready with me, look of the day type thing. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, then please keep on watching. I thought I would show you what my hair is like naturally. This is it, it's just been washed today, so you have to squat down a wee bit. Totally not squatting, sitting on a fucking chair. It's so straight, it's plapped to my head. That's what I mean, I look like a little Lego person, right? Even my fringe, like, when I dry it, it's just been washed, it's so soft, it doesn't sit the way I want it to, it's kind of shit and I hate it. I hate my natural hair. I wish I had curly hair, but then everybody with curly hair, they all want straight hair, don't they? We always fucking want what we don't have. So I'm going to show you what I do to make it the way I want it. When you've got a face this size, nice big chubby cheeks, this is too straight and I can't deal with that. And I know a lot of people, like, even if I'd done a video and I had straight hair, they might be like, oh, your hair's really nice like that. I fucking hate it, I'm sorry. As I said, it has just been washed today, so it's very, very shiny and very, very soft, which is lovely. But to be honest with you, 4 or 5 days in, I much prefer the way it looks. But I do use a lot of dry shampoo as well. The dry shampoo I normally use is this one from Aussie. I spoke about it loads on my channel before because it gives you volume. It's one of those boosting ones. And I'm also trying out this one just now. This is the Coco Loco from Lee Stafford. It says it's a texturizing dry shampoo. I find this to be a bit more like a cleaning one that I would use if I particularly thought I had greasy hair. Maybe use it more for work rather than volumizing. But we'll kind of go between the two today. It's really straightforward. I just use a pair of straighteners, or I've got one of these funny little fuckers as well. Basically one of those ones you turn on and put a little glove on and you can wrap your hair around it. This definitely gives a different look. This gives a much more softer waved look, which is very nice, but also falls out my hair really easily because I've got such straight hair. The curls fall out really easily. So today I'm going to show you what I do with a straightener. And maybe show you what I do with that on the top. We'll see how I feel. Now, first of all, I section it. I'm not fucking teaching you anything here. You absolutely know. I'm not teaching you anything anyway. I'm sure there are a million fucking YouTube videos out there with shit like this that's 10 times better. Right, so we clip on the top. Boom. Sometimes I don't bother sectioning it. Sometimes I'll just do it as it is and not bother sectioning it, but I at least put it into two normally. Right, these are my straighteners. They're not super fancy, they're just from Babyliss. They're really, really old. You don't need fancy ones, I can assure you. And all I do, I take quite big chunks. I don't take wee tiny chunks because I don't want it to look super duper curly as such. I just want it to look wavy. So what I do, sorry, you should see the fucking setup I've got going on here. There's a mirror behind that camera and everything, which is just treacherous. So I basically just wait till they heat up a little bit. It is high just now. I pull and I twist kind of once, just and a half, and then I let it go, and it does that, right? You've seen this a million times. What I find sometimes as well is that when I get to the other side of my hair, the twists are better. Like this side of my head, it looks a bit nicer. Whereas this side always looks a little tighter. I don't know if it's because I'm right-handed and it just sits a bit funny. I'm sure hairdressers will know exactly what I'm meaning, but I have no idea. The person to ask about that is probably Kelly from Keep Beauty Real. She does hair as well. Her hair in her live the other day was fucking phenomenal. So there we go. That's the one there. And that is the bottom bit of my hair done, because I have that little hair, it's that thin. So that is it. And then I just do the same on this side. So I'm going to go through that until I get to the top, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so I know I said I'd come back to you when I was at the top, but I'm on my second section. You know, girl likes to change her mind, and me certainly always do. So I'm just saying before, I'm just doing the exact same thing. And you'll also notice that when I'm doing this, I don't curl right down to the ends. I leave that bit out. So it's a bit more of a like pull and twist. Just a kind of flick of the wrist. So what I do is I spray the dry shampoo in between the sections. Sections. Oh, so that's what I do, because I do have dark hair on the top. Most dry shampoos, unless it's a coloured one, leave a little bit of a cast, just ever so slightly, even the best ones. So what I tend to do is kind of spray it underneath. That's my kind of go-to, unless of course I do have, like, I've not washed it for 3 days and it needs it on the top. But because I've just washed it today, that is not why I'm using it. I'm using it for volume more than anything else. Just going to show you on this side again. So it's just more of a like pull and twist and leave and let it dangle. That's probably it. It's like really, really loose, but that's the way I like it. I should also probably mention, when I'm doing that, don't squeeze these, like just let them kind of hover in between your hair a little bit. That kind of helps to pull and slide rather than ending up with really, really tight curls. So again, just in at the roots there. Right, for the top section, I'm going to use the other tool just to show you how it looks a little bit different. Now I do have a little glove, like heat protecting thing for this tool. I very rarely use it, but that is also how I ended up with this big scar on my wrist. So I'm going to tell you, do as I say, not as I do. Actually, use the glove, because it is a very good idea. Actually, do you know what? I'll just fucking use the glove. That was fucking painful. But look at it, it's like Michael Jackson. Before he was a little bit odd, let's say that. Odd's probably a nice word. Right, so this one, obviously there's a little foot on it, sorry I was putting the foot down. It's a little bit different. I go up the way with this one just because of the way it works. And all I do is wrap my hair around it. Again, I'm letting that little tail stick out on the end, but this gives a much more kind of cool look. And sometimes I'll just do the top section with this and the rest with the straighteners, because the straighteners are quicker. I have to hold this on for longer, if I'm honest with you. But they do give very different looks. And I think on long hair this probably will look lovely. Yeah, so you can see there, it's a completely different shape from the other ones, but don't worry, it does actually go. What I generally do is I do this, I'll then go in and do my makeup and let all those curls just fall out, to be honest with you, because I don't want them to be too ringlety. Alright, so you can see there it's giving me a little bit more volume. My hair at my fringe, I look a little bit like fucking Wayne from Wayne's World. Okay, so for the fringe, I do blow dry that forward. I don't blow dry my hair straight, just in case you're like, Mel, no wonder your hair's fucking straight. I don't blow dry it straight, I just finger blow dry it, and then the fringe I blow dry forward because it needs it. But what I tend to do is, it's obviously like one of these kind of long wispy fringes, I don't know. But what I tend to do is try and take it in each half, like just round this brush. This is just like a barrel brush, and then I pull and I twist that way, so it's got a bit of a wing. I don't know, I think people are called, it's a Bardot fringe, is that right? I don't know if that's what people are called, that's what I would call it, but I think nowadays these have got a different name. I can't remember what people are calling this. Is it Bardot bangs? Is that maybe what I'm thinking of? Because I would say fringe. So I just, again, pull it, I kind of pull it out at a right angle from my eye so that it kind of sits the way that I want it to sit. And once I've done that, I go in with a little bit more of the dry shampoo just under the top to give it a little bit more body. And I put my hands underneath, give myself a good scalp massage. That's usually the way I do it anyway. And then you will see, like, these will just start to naturally fall out. And I don't mind that. I don't want them to be too perfect. And if at any point you do think, like, my straighteners are off now, but if you do think, like, this is too twisty, like, I don't want it, just put your straightener like that and just let it pull down a little bit. That's all I do. And then I do usually like a little, what do you call it, headband or something added on the top. There we go. So that is what I do with my hair, just in case you want to know. Not that anybody fucking asked, but you've got it. Alright, so the only problem is, like, once you've done your hair nice, then I have to kind of clip it out my face somehow or another without it getting loads of dents in it. So I've got little clips that I try and, like, I don't do this on videos normally, but we're going to do it today, giving you the real life Alana experience. Alright, so we're going to start off with some base. I do obviously have my skincare on already, that's why I'm looking super shiny. I'm going to use the Charlotte again, Flawless Filter. I feel like this, and I got a little zit going on down here just now, probably see that. Oh, see, look, what's that all about? Got a little zit going on down here. I thought I maybe want something with a little more coverage. Not lots of coverage, but a little more. So I think I'm going to put these two together and just go with that and see how it works out. Alright, so here we go. I do actually quite like this, and actually from first impressions to now when I'm using it, I think it is really quite nice. I think I still probably should be getting the one in, what do you call it? 2 rather than 3. This is just a little deep for me, but because it's like more of a glow type situation, I think it does work. I can't wait to see the reviews on Samantha Ravndal's new stuff, because I'm wondering, like, a lot of people are like, is it just going to be the same as the Charlotte stuff? And I'm kind of wondering the same thing. So as I said, going in with Hydroluminous, this is the actual moisturising foundation, and I wear Warm Ivory, which is a little bit darker than I am. Like, look at me. Look at me. But this kind of evens things out for me a little bit with regards to the colour of my, I don't know. It just works. I find for coverage this actually is good for little spots like that as well. It's not going to do a bad boy spot, but it does not a bad job of little blemishes like that, just little ones, and it means you can pop a wee bit of a lighter concealer on and it doesn't really matter. And here she is, heavy stunning. So as I say, I picked this up on Black Friday. I think it's beautiful, it's right up my street. So we're gonna have a little play around with this. I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet. Okay, I'm going to start off with Morning, I think. That's this one here, so we'll go for that first. And it's one of these kind of, it's a yellow, but it's, I don't know, like more of a dusky yellow. Is that the way I could put it? I'm just going to put this right through the socket. We'll see how we go with that. Well, that blended like an absolute dream. That was very, very nice to work with. Alright, I'll see you, Natasha. How have you all been anyway? How are things? I have to say I'm alright, I'm okay, but fucking bored I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna do the same on this side. I've been okay, I've been alright actually, and to be honest with you, things could be so much worse, but I am bored. I am so bored at the moment. We are obviously still in lockdown and have been pretty much since Boxing Day, but also we then went into like a more serious lockdown as well. I want to say on the 4th of January. I'm just gonna zoom you out a smidge. I feel like sometimes it's just too close and personal for me, sorry. I know it probably helps with you seeing the makeup and as I get ready with me, but we like to chat too. So yeah, that's pretty, I like that. So yeah, it's been a little strange at the moment, and I truly feel like, I think I either mentioned it in my Q&A video or in the video that what the people I'm watching just now, basically how I wanted to buy a Nintendo Switch. I thought about buying a Nintendo Switch Lite, and then I was like, nah, just get the actual thing. Sorry, I'm just going in with Glory and Clove now, and I'm going to pop them on the outside. I'll try that. That seems maybe a little dark, but we're going to go for it. But yeah, I just thought I'm going to get myself a Nintendo Switch. Fuck it. I'm going to take the whole week off of work, because sometimes I'll go in and do like a wee bank shift and stuff. Not so much nowadays. I used to do bank shifts all the time. But see, at the moment, mentally, being in the hospital and being in my ward, sometimes the idea of just being off and not doing anything, it's worth it more than the money. Let's face it. Okay, this is a little dark. I'm not sure. It's still blending really nicely with the other colour underneath it. I just don't know if it's what I expected it to be. I don't know. Yeah, but I just thought I'm taking the whole week off. I'm not doing any extra shifts. I'm taking the time just to do absolutely sweet fuck all, to be honest with you. And I thought I'm going to buy a Nintendo Switch and all I'm going to do the whole week is play games. That's it. Take myself back to my youth, my teenage years, and just do that. And then lo and behold, it turned out that every single place in Scotland, potentially the UK, I don't know, but definitely in Scotland, every single place is definitely out of stock and unable to be bought anywhere online, offline, collection point, whatever, because obviously we're not allowed in the shops now. And I was gutted and I thought, what the fuck am I gonna do all week? I'm gonna have to deepen this up a little bit here. It's just kind of not doing very much at the moment. Also, I feel like they're a little bit wishy-washy. Is Natasha supposed to be like this? I thought she was a pigmented bitch. Right, hold on a wee minute. I think I'm going to build it up. Will we go back in the glory? Yeah, on a bigger brush. Let's try that. Blow that shit out a little bit. Oh, that's a little better. Okay, good. It's just me being a fucking idiot. Right. I feel I want to add more yellow up here as well. Oh, there, that's much nicer. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of, let's go with citrine and morning, because the citrine is like a super sunny yellow, just round and about here. I think I'm gonna add some yellow in this area as well, actually. So yeah, instead of playing the Nintendo Switch Lite all week, sorry, I'm just building up the, I'm going back in with Clove and Glory again, just between the two of them, to do the corners here. Just, it's difficult to tell you what I'm doing when I don't really fucking know what I'm doing. I'm just going with it. We're just seeing where we're off to here. So instead of that, we've just been watching a heck of a lot of telly. And actually, we've just finished, what do you call it? Night Stalker. We just finished that. That was quite good actually. I enjoyed that. That's the kind of shit I'm into. Oh, do you know what else I watched? I'm going to tell you this in my January roundup, but here, by the way, listen to it twice. Why not? Bridgerton. What did you think about Bridge? I thought it was fucking fantastic. Do you know, I've got a friend as well who really likes period dramas, and to be honest with you, she was like, oh no, I couldn't watch it. Too much shagging. And I was like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. There's quite a lot of shagging in it. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was very romantic, let's face it, it was. Right, I'm going to take a wee tiny brush and take Glory, that's that really pink one again, and pop it in here. Will we do a bit of a halo eye, or will I fuck this up if I do that? I thought it was really romantic actually. Alan was not into it. He was watching it like, no, this just isn't for me. This is probably one you want to watch on your own. He did watch some of it actually, because I watched it in the evenings as well, but then the days he was off, I was watching them when he was, not the days he was off, the days he was at work, I don't know what you're talking about. The days he was at work, I was watching them when I was off, or I would watch them for like an hour before I was going to night shift, because I thought, oh my god, I need to keep watching this. And I think at the moment they are currently filming a second series, which is quite exciting. It's got, is it Nicola Colquhoun? I want to say that's how you say her second name, but she's Irish, and you know that way she could have a totally different name that's spelled Nicola. I think Irish names, sometimes you're like, what the fuck? But yes, I'm sure her name is Nicola Colquhoun. And she plays, what's her name in it? Patricia? No, talk shite. They shorten her name in it, that's why I can't remember. Oh god, what's her name? Penelope, that's it. I couldn't remember their Pen, that's what they call her. I knew there was something like that. They call her Penelope in it, and I thought, oh god, she's just lovely. I loved her in Derry Girls as well. I don't know if you get that over in America. I'm sure you do. I've heard the girls on My Favourite Murder podcast talking about Derry Girls, so you must get Derry Girls. Derry Girls is an Irish TV programme. It's based on Ireland in the early 90s, so it's like to do with the troubles and the kind of war between the IRA and, I mean, it's still a thing, like it's not as if it's disappeared, it still happens, and kind of between the British and the IRA, and oh god, don't even ask politics. But basically she's in that, and it's really funny. That's really funny because it's like based around the 90s, and I remember growing up and there was just like so much stuff like that I can relate to, so nostalgic. Just going back in with a Clove at this bit to deepen that up again. It's a lot of going back and forth with this palette, I feel. I know that sounds awful, but I don't think this is the easiest palette. I expected a little bit more like simplicity to it, but I think mattes are like that. Like, I feel like with a shimmery thing, I can stick it all over the lid. I done that yesterday actually. I was made my first reel on Instagram. And it was just me putting like this sparkly glitter pigment all over my eye, and it was like a really grungy eye look. I fucking loved it, it was gorgeous. But yeah, I think mattes are always just a little bit harder to work with, if I'm honest with you. And I think that's just testament to my shitty makeup skills. I don't think that's anything to do with the shadows at all. Yeah, so Derry Girls is a really good watch as well. If you've never seen it, you should fucking go and watch. You think my accent's mad? You should listen to them. Do you know what? Can I just say a thank you to everybody who's been so kind about my accent. They've been like, oh, I love your accent. It's difficult because I feel like personally I go through really broad Scottish to kind of almost posh Scottish, because my mum and dad are from Glasgow originally. I've told you all about this, haven't I? If you haven't seen it already, it's on the Q&A. But they're from Glasgow originally, and they're quite broad Glaswegian, you know. But I obviously moved away, and that skewed my accent a wee bit. So if I go up to Fife, which is where my mum and dad moved up to when I was younger, if I was to go up there now, they would be like, oh, you're so Ouija like, eh? And I'm like, Ouija means like Glaswegian, basically. That's shortening for that. I think I've mentioned that before. And they were like, you're so Ouija, eh? And they speak a bit like that, and everybody talks a wee bit like that, and it's like, they say ken a lot, like, you ken, aye? And ken means you know, so it'd be like, you ken? And you'd be like, a what? Sorry, who's ken? What are you talking about? So they talk totally different from Glaswegians. But then equally, if I go, like, if I'm in my work, people will quite frequently say to me, where are you from? And I'm like, Glasgow, and they'll be like, no, something else there. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I think I've done what I want to with that at the moment. We're gonna stick some shimmers on. What shimmer? Yeah, so sorry, what was I talking about there? Different accents. I know obviously in other parts of the world, because of the vast size of your country, you probably have very different accents wherever you are. But in Scotland, it's quite funny because we're not a very big country, but there is a definite like distinction between accents. People up in the Highlands speak very soft, and people in Inverness, and I feel Aberdeen and Inverness are a little bit like Fife. Like, they're broad and they speak a bit like now, like aye for a pair, and well, that's more maybe Dundee. Sorry, I'm just rambling here now. I've got a friend, Amy. Oh my god, sometimes you have to double take what she's actually saying, and she lives in Scotland, and I do that. So I can't imagine what people hearing her who don't, like, they're not used to a Scottish accent would do, because I'm like, Amy, say that again, like, I'm a bit lost here. And actually she would say herself, like, god, I'm not even that broad, like, you should hear my uncles or my aunts or whatever, the people that live up in Inverness still, they speak really broad. But then I feel like other places, people who are right up north of Scotland, like right up there, Highlands and Islands, they speak really softly, like almost a little bit Irish, but they speak a little bit like that. And it's Scottish, but it's very soft. See if anybody for the Islands sees this, I fucking apologise greatly so. So yeah, I have to say thank you. That was a really long-winded way of saying thank you for listening to my funny accent, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying most of the time. Do you know what I worry about as well sometimes is basically if I type something. So I was on a live the other night with Kelly from Keep Beauty Real, and there was people chatting away, and sometimes I think like people won't know when I'm kidding, because the sarcasm and the way that certainly me and a lot of Scottish people that I know are, it's kind of like, well, you know how Bart Simpson would be like, not? Well, it's kind of like that. It's a little bit like as if, oh, does that what you mean, not? Or yeah, sure, not. Like, it's a little bit like that. Like, you're just constantly being sarcastic and you don't mean it to be a dick. And if you don't know Scottish or potentially British humour, you might not take that so well. So my apologies if anybody like gets a message and they'll be like, is she being fucking serious? Like, is she just being a cheeky bitch? I'm probably not being a cheeky bitch. Right, so I'm going to zoom you in a little just to show you how far I've came with this. It's looking okay. I find this has got a little patchy here. I think that's just me being shit at makeup. This side is a little better, and you can see how the shimmer and sparkles came off nice, and the little bit of aura yellow. So I'm gonna try and make this a little bit brighter, bring the yellow up a little bit more. We'll give that a go and see how we get on. There's a little bit of fallout here as well from some of the shimmers, as you can see. So it's looking okay. I have to say, like, it's nice. It's very nice, and I obviously got this on a deal. And I think in summer, like, this is going to come into its own. The yellows are beautiful. I should have maybe done something with yellow, but I thought I'd go with the plummy pinks today. Honestly, I'm kind of like, it's nice, but I don't know if I'd have paid full price for it, Natasha. It's nice, but am I absolutely in love with it? I'm not entirely sure. Like, what do you think? Do you think it looks good? I feel like I've done other stuff that looked a little better. I might just be having one of those days that my eyelids don't want to put makeup on them, because that happens quite frequently. I think it's just going to have to be what it'll be. I don't think I can really do anything else to salvage this now. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow around the top here, because I think that'll look quite nice. I'm going in with that citrine one again, because it's a really bright yellow. Okay. That's maybe, as I say, what it'll be will be. Sometimes you just have days where you think, this is a heap of shite and I've given up. Right, okay. I think I'm going to put a wee pop of yellow in the waterline actually. I've got this one. Oh, what colour is this again? Nectar from Glossier. It's one of their colour slides. Really, really nice. So I'm going to stick that in the waterline. Now, it doesn't actually look that dark on the camera, but in real life, that's actually really quite nice, so I don't mind that. Oh, I quite like a wee bit of yellow in the waterline. I'm just going to use that Laurel shade, which is like a, I don't know, like a highlighty one here. I'm just going to put that right along the top there. And I think I'll probably pop that Laurel shade on the inner corner as well. Sorry, I'm taking my wee Charlotte Tilbury powder now and just placing that on the super duper shiny bits. I still like to look shiny, but in the less shiny bits. Do you know what, the more I look at the eyeshadow, I actually am coming to like it. I think it's actually not as bad as I maybe thought initially. I just didn't find that super duper easy. I think I just expected more, Natasha. I don't know. Obviously I've got the mini gold palette, but I just thought, I don't know what I thought. I just thought it was going to be a little easier to work with. I don't know. I mean, it looks really nice, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'll have to try another look with it. I'm not going to throw it in the fucking bin, that's for sure. What else am I going to do now? I'm going to put on a little bit of blusher. So this is Nabla's Skin Glazing, and this one is in Lola. Now, Lola is like a super duper lovely pink colour, like, oh, and it's like a, what do you call it? Like a, it's probably got a bit of a sheen to it. So I tried this the other day. This isn't a first impression with this one. It's actually much more subtle on the skin than it initially looks there. It looks a bit fucking scary when you actually see it for the first time. But I'm going to take it on like a nice big fat brush and just pop that right here, because it gives a really nice like pink flush. Don't know if you'll see, you can probably see her face on, you can see that little like funny bit now. That's it's absolutely gorgeous. You can see it there. It's just giving me a little bit more lift to those big cheeks of mine, but it also leaves a little bit of a sheen on them. It doesn't like just leave them pink and matte and flat. So if you wanted, can you see it on that side a wee bit more? It is actually really quite pink, isn't it? If you wanted, you could take this up like that too, and it probably would give you a little bit of highlight as well. But personally, I'm just gonna leave it today and leave it as it is, because I'm gonna put on another highlight that's even more fucking sheeny and sparkly. I'm gonna just curl my lashes now and put I've got a new mascara to try, so I'm gonna put that on. This is the It Superhero Mascara. Now, I tried a mini of this, was it last year? And basically, I really, really liked the mini. So we're gonna give this a bash today and we'll see how that goes. Right, so first of all, the brush is really like, just, I don't know how to explain this, like really straight. It doesn't look any special. There's no curve to it. It's just a bristle brush. It's not plasticky at all. It's quite a wet mascara, but that is obviously, it's a brand new mascara, and it's certainly lengthening. It's at the risk of going a little clumpy. And this is obviously the first coat. Oh, if I keep going, that's going to just end up totally spider eyes. So I'm going to stop there because I really don't like the spider eyes look. It's not for me. Okay, I'm going to stop there because it's getting a little spider eyes, but I'm going to zoom in and let you see my eyes with it and without it. So it's certainly lengthening, but that right there, that is too clumpy for me. Hold on a wee second. I'll see if I can get the other side to look a little better. It might just be because it's a brand new mascara. This has been a bit of a fucking failure, this Get Ready With Me, hasn't it? Alright, so that's the mascara. That is just a little too clumpy for my liking. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That's a little... I'm not going to pass judgment just yet. On first impressions, it's just a little too clumpy lumpy for me. That's not really what I like. Oh Jesus. Yeah, okay, not sure about that mascara either. It's going wonderfully, this. Now I'm certain it's a very wet mascara, but obviously with time I am certain that will get a little better, so I will come back to you on that one. That's kind of why I like doing these first impression videos, because you get a first impression, but then of course I can come back to you and say, actually, do you know what, it turned out okay, or I've learned how to use it a different way. But it just seems a little clumpy. I've not even put any on the bottom lashes because I think it'll be far too much. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to put on some Mars Melter highlighter because it's just fucking phenomenal. And I think with this kind of, I don't know, pinky, yellowy look, this is going to go really nice across the top of the cheeks. It doesn't do it justice in this camera. It really doesn't. Honestly, see if you go and see this in the... or on Kaleidos's website, but the actual effect this highlighter gives on the face is unbelievable. Right, I think I can take my wee funny clips out now, can't I? And then you'll see what happens to my hair after I've spent all that time doing my makeup. Obviously I don't take quite so long to do my makeup because normally I'm not talking to people on a bloody camera, but that's how it leaves my hair, like this. And then, as I say, sometimes I'll put a little headband in, sometimes I'll just leave the clips in. It just depends on my mood that day. Sometimes I'll just let my fringe go riot. Even still, now I'm not happy with my fringe today. It's because I've just washed it. I fucking hate the first day. So this is Gloss My Heart number 14 lip liner, so I'm going to go on with that first. And again, you're never going to hear me say a bad word about these lip liners. They're my fucking favourite. They're my favourite, and I'm kind of like that now. Like, I've got, like, this one is my kind of nude go-to. I've got a plummy one, I've got a more pinky one, I've got a really deep one, I've got a red one. I'm kind of like, why ever would I need anything else in my life now, quite frankly, because it's perfect. And then I'm going to take this from Nabla. This is their Cult Matte Soft Touch Lipstick in Elusive. Now this is one of the ones that kind of has that suede effect, a little bit like Elisa Eldridge one, on the actual bullet. It's kind of a mauvey pink colour, so I'm thinking that will probably go quite nicely. But I haven't used this before, so this is the first impression. I got this in the Black Friday sale as well, and I haven't used it yet, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, so I thought this would be a little more mauve. It's a bit more neutral than I expected, but I think it goes quite well with this look. It's quite like, ooh, is it Guilty Girl or the one from Beauty Pie that I quite like? It's a similar tone. It's like taupey but pinky but a little orangey as well. It's a little funny. I don't know. Do like it though. I think that's really nice. I think it really goes nicely with that look. It's very dry. I don't know, like maybe I did put lip gloss on at the start, but I've obviously been, not lip gloss, what am I talking about? I did put lip balm on at the start, but obviously I've spent all this time now filming and talking to you, but it's quite dry. I've got some serious cat butthole going on. Is that what Raw Beauty Christy says? I've got some serious cat hole butt going on right there. I'm going to put a little bit of balm on the top because that's just too much. I think if you're one of those girls who's got like really nice, I don't know, like filled lips and stuff like that, that probably would be a really nice look for you. But for me, my little crinkly lips, I don't think that's going to work too nicely. There, I'll just put some glossy fig over the top of that because that was just a little too dry for me. Right, so that's the look. What do I think? What's my wee roundup here? Okay, everything. The superhero mascara I need to come back to you on because I think that's a little bit crazy biscuits. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll dry down a little bit and I'll love it. The Nabla blush, or the skin glazing I should say, so you could use it, it depends on the tone of your skin I suppose. Me, it's definitely a blush this is gorgeous. I really, really like this. I like the sheen on it, but also I like that it's given me like nice little rosy cheeks. I think that's really nice. I also really like the shade of the lipstick, but I think for me, with it being a matte one, I definitely need a gloss or a balm or something over the top. It is about comfort, and I think it's really nice, so I think it could be worn with a lot of different looks. Right, the main pièce de résistance. Right, I do like this. I'm not going to like lie. I think the eye looks turned out quite nice, but honestly, I'm a little like, I expected a little bit more. I don't know if I was just selling myself up a river there. I'm going to keep working with it. Obviously the yellows and stuff like that are just beautiful. I think possibly doing like mustard and yellow looks will, as I go along, will be very, very nice, but took just a little bit more effort. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but I just kind of was, I don't know, just expect a little more, I suppose. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed me rambling on about accents and shit like that. And I'm going to go and film another video now, and I'm definitely going to make myself a coffee, because after all that, I'm fucking gasping, absolutely gasping, mate. So I'll see you all again in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.